Welcome, travelers, to High Fantasy. I'm Brett. I clapped and I shouldn't have clapped. You got me clapping. I need my herb pouch. Daddy's been paying for my salt.
This
I'm part of the poop patrol, ma'am.
And I'm Emily. But I'm like, don't make the robots.
Don't make the robots
crunch. I would take Speak with Dinosaur in a second. I have beef with DC. It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Join us on our epic world-spanning adventures. Armed with only a bit of long-bottom leaf, we will delve into some of the most amazing worlds of imagination that have ever existed. Before we get into that, don't forget to check out our Patreon if you want to support the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it.
You can clap. You can.
Yay! Hello to all of our merry travelers. Welcome back. This is High Fantasy right now. If you like what we do here, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to check out our Patreon, where we have all kinds of fun things for you to vote on. There's also going to be a $500 a month stretch goal to unlock master classes on our Patreon itself. So if that's something you're interested in, please do go and check that out. Here you can find us High Fantasy on YouTube, Spotify, and Patreon. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube as the Copper Spoon for tavern content and the latest updates on the up-and-coming Copper Spoon cookbook coming soon. Follow all socials for our latest updates and constantly keep yourself in the know, our fantastic travelers. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. Hello, travelers. It's me, Brett. Just letting you know, we got some crazy information. We are going to be content creators at this year's Rose City Comic-Con. So if you would like to meet up with me and Emily, and you would like to meet us in person, here's your opportunity. There is also a code that you can use while buying your Rose City Comic-Con tickets. If you would like to support us in that way, we would appreciate it. That would be fantastic. Thank you all so much. We can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see all the fans. It's going to be so fantastic. See you there, travelers. Okay, everybody, welcome back to High Fantasy. I'm Brett.
And I'm Emily. Your drink's right there, by the way.
Thank you so much. And today, we're going to be talking about, or at least slightly discussing, a very, very big topic.
Okay.
This game has been out for, I want to say, 30-ish years. Something along those lines, pretty close to. I think they just recently celebrated their 20 or 25th anniversary. So, something along those lines. A lot of lore. There are books on the subject. There was a major motion picture made about it. Multiple game franchise leading into and culminating in the final version of a game, a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. We're talking about World of Warcraft today.
It's World of Warcraft. I should have known.
So, to kind of set the scene for everybody who has not played World of Warcraft, it is your typical sword and sorcery kind of world. Think medieval times for the most part. There are still some steampunk elements and some crazy things that will happen, but we'll get into that later. Elves, dwarves, orcs, trolls, it's all in there, baby. You've got magic swords, you've got spellcasters, mages, priests, warlocks, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, there is so much to cover on this topic that I thought we would do something fun and a little bit different today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list, and you are going to pick off of this list, and we're going to go through and do this a couple times.
Okay.
And then I'm going to kind of discuss what that is.
Okay.
I have here a list of the classes that are available to play as.
Okay.
The races that are available to play as.
Love it.
And the proficiencies, or the, professions, professions that exist in World of Warcraft. I wrote prof as my abbreviation, and I played Dungeons and Dragons too much, so it just immediately translated in my head to proficiency.
Because it means proficiency and not.
So, also I have on here, if we want to talk about a larger topic, I have the Horde or the Alliance, if we want to cover those.
Oh, I love it.
So, let's start off first. Would you like to learn about a class, a race, or a profession?
Let's learn about a profession. Because any of the classes and races, I'm assuming, I could be very wrong, but we'll see.
Any of the classes and races, what?
Would be able to do professions?
Yes.
Professions?
So any class or race, any character in World of Warcraft can be any of these professions, with the exception that you're only allowed to learn 2 main professions, and then anyone can learn as many of the secondary professions as they would like to.
Thank you for reminding me to finish my thought.
You're welcome.
For the best. Teamwork. DreamWorks and stuff.
Dreamwork. So, I'm going to list them off, and you stop me when it sounds cool.
Okay.
There is alchemy. Blacksmithing.
That sounds cool. Alchemy?
You want to do alchemy?
I mean, I haven't heard the rest of the list, so I feel like I'm uninformed. You said stop.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Cool.
So, because that's like, we're going to have this to go over. So alchemy is generally the creation of potions.
Okay.
Which is that's pretty self-explanatory for the most part. A lot of people probably understand that when you hear alchemy. However, there are a few key differences to alchemy in World of Warcraft than there are in other places. So in World of Warcraft, you can make basic things like mana potions, healing potions, etc., right? That's a commonality in a lot of RPG video game kind of things.
For sure.
But there are a few things that alchemists can do. They can make what are called battle elixirs.
Ooh.
Guardian elixirs.
Okay.
And there's one that does both, and I forget what it's called. But anyway, you can have one battle and one guardian elixir effect active on your character at any one given time. Most of the time, these are things that increase your primary stats, like your agility, your strength, etc., or increases your armor, increases your max HP, increases like your dodge chance, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there are some potions that are so powerful that they count as both of those effects combined, so you can only have one of those active.
Ooh, okay.
And it would be a really good effect. They can make potions of underwater breathing. They can make water walking potions.
Ooh.
They can make a very special item, which is extremely hard to get, and it's one of the only ways you can get a 2-person flying mount in the game.
Ooh.
Called the Sands of Time. We're not going to go into how you get it because it's so convoluted and crazy, but they can do that. But something that I thought was really cool is later on in other expansions, they gave them the ability to transmute precious metals.
Ooh.
So, you know how it's like the myth of like transmutation, turning one metal into another metal?
Yeah.
It's that. So it's like turning iron into gold.
Ooh.
Kind of thing. But they can do it different, there's crazy materials that you have access to.
That's so fun.
Alchemists do require special herbs in order to make these potions. So you have to have an herbalist that can gather the materials that you need, or you have to buy them out of the auction house. This will become prevalent. I'll use that in any profession going on. Like anything that crafts anything generally has something that is required to get it. There is a few exceptions, and we'll go into that if it comes up to it. But yes, that's an alchemist. They can make decent amounts of money on a lot of servers just selling their potions that they craft.
Oh, that's super fun. Okay. You're just living your little fantasy life in this game, aren't you?
Yes. So, I will give you, again, classes, races, or professions.
Let's go with classes this time.
Alright, there's the mage, the priest, the warlock, the warrior, the hunter, the rogue, paladin, the druid, shaman, the monk.
Let's do shaman, because shaman isn't one that you would see in like D&D or everything else that I've heard so far.
Funny enough, it is actually a class in 4th edition.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
But shamans are actually my mom's favorite class.
Oh, fun! I know I like playing them in Hearthstone whenever I play real Hearthstone and not just Battlegrounds, which is just not often.
They are extremely good. So shamans can play either a damage role or a healing role.
Okay, love that.
In World of Warcraft, you can either be a damage dealer or a healer. They can't tank, which is fair. They do a lot of totemic abilities.
What does
is
that
what it's
mean?
called. So they rely on totems to do specific effects, and like
Okay.
which funny like just little fun fact. All races that can become shamans, their totems look different than other people's
Oh,
totems.
that's super fun. So not all races can become all classes?
Not all races can become all classes. That is something that I guess should now be kind of ventured out into.
Interesting.
And for the longest time, only horde players could be shamans.
Oh,
And
interesting.
only alliance players could be paladins.
That's weird.
That was the initial vanilla rules. In the first expansion, they came out with the Drawn Eye for the alliance and the Blood Elves for the horde. Blood Elves could be paladins, and Drawn Eye could be shaman.
Interesting.
So they gave, but for the longest time, if you fought a shaman, or if you wanted to play a shaman, you had to be horde. If you wanted to play a paladin, you had to be alliance.
Okay.
So kind of an interesting thing. But obviously they draw from primal magics. Because it's calling on the spirits and the elements to do something for you, to like bolster your weapons, or to throw fireballs, or to bring up spikes of earth and ground, to call actual giant elementals to your aid. That's something that shamans can do. You can turn into a ghost wolf to travel faster.
Ooh, that's fun.
There's a lot, but they're very in touch with their ancestors and the spirits of nature, and there's a lot of harmony with shamans.
Okay, I love that.
They're really, really cool. I like them a lot. Like I said, they focus on their totems, so when you go into combat, you're allowed to have one totem of every element active at any one time, and you have to place it down.
So they're almost like healer druids instead of tanky druids.
In a way, yes. They even have the access to resurrection. And I believe they even get a battle res ability, which is not every healer class has the ability to res someone in battle.
Interesting.
So it's pretty impressive. But if you're playing you also get a fun, so like you can think of like chain lightning, right?
Yeah.
For elements. They get chain heal.
That's incredible.
As well as chain lightning, which I think is super fun. And one of their biggest like final things they could do was they got access to a greater earth or fire elemental that they could summon.
Oh, that's dope.
With one of their totems, and so you had this just big beefy rock guy going just poof.
So are like the totems, are they like big physical totems?
Yeah, big physical totems.
Stick in the ground.
Just
carrying around a bunch of totems with you.
People make that joke a lot. There's actually one of my favorite comics is the Drawn Eye totems are really big and bulky. And so the joke is that someone put down a fireball totem, because that's one of the very first totems you can get, and it shoots one little mini fireball at an enemy every couple seconds. So it just adds extra damage. It's nothing crazy. But someone goes up to him and is like, huh. And they like pick up the totem, and there's a little gnome mage in the totem. It was hollow, and he was just casting fireball. He's like, oh shit. The look on his face of just like startled, like, oh no, they saw me.
See, I'm just picturing like a dude with a really big backpack with a bunch of totems just sticking out of the back of it.
Another one of my favorite is, remember how I said, like horde could be shaman,
yeah,
alliance could be paladins. There's an ability that paladins get, and it's called it's not actually called this, but it's the sissy bubble. And it makes you immune to all damage for like 6 seconds. But you can't hurt anybody while you're in it or cast damaging spells. But you can heal yourself. So it's
that's really good.
Oh, you're about to die? Bubble. And then you just heal yourself, like lay on hands and all this stuff, and then you come out and you're like, all right, fully healed, let's go, you and me, bitch.
Call me a sissy. I don't care. I am gonna heal myself.
You can even use it to negate fall damage, so you can jump off a cliff and then just bubble right before you're about to hit the ground, and you're fine.
Incredible.
But there's a really funny comic of like these two Tauren who are giant Minotaur people.
Okay.
And their totems look very like Native American,
yeah,
in a lot of ways, but they're kind of just big sticks, and they've got wings on the side and like different tribal markings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it shows them playing hockey with their fucking totems. And there's a like dwarven paladin in his little sissy bubble, and they're using him as the puck. And it's so funny to me every time I think about it. It's so good.
I see what they were trying to do with making certain classes only be able to be Horde or Alliance. It's really dumb from a gameplay standpoint.
Yeah, a lot of people were very sad about it because they're like, well, I don't want to just be able to play a shaman if I'm playing on the horde side. Like, I play mainly alliance and I can't play shaman. That kind
Yeah.
of sucks. And then the exact same thing of like, I want to be a paladin. And then a lot of questions start coming up of like, well, why can't horde be paladins? Like,
Right.
that's really messed up that, because anybody who wants to should be allowed to play as like as a paladin simply because they have access to something called the light, which is like a holy force.
Yeah.
And so if you dedicate yourself to the light and the forces of good, you can be a paladin. So a lot of people were like, this seems kind of racist.
Yeah, this is a little sussy baka.
But yeah, so
that's the name of the episode.
Episode
a little racist.
Yeah, it's really bad. But we can get into that if we do like an overall of the Horde and the Alliance. But I love shamans. They're super fun. They have a lot of versatility. And I think the way that they heal is just in general really cool. And some of their abilities are really neat too. Also, fun fact, the leader of the Horde for the longest time, a guy named Thrall, who was an orc, is widely considered the most powerful shaman in existence.
Oh shit, okay.
So, yeah.
Was he the one in the movie?
Yes.
Because I remember watching the movie.
He was the baby.
He was the baby in the movie.
He was the baby. He was the son of the main orc protagonist.
Let's do last one we haven't done yet, races.
Okay, there are humans, dwarves, night elves, gnomes, Draenei, Worgen, Pandarians.
Worgen? What's Worgen?
Worgen, this is actually kind of a fun one with a lot of crazy lore to them. So the Worgen are all from a place called Gilneas.
Okay.
Which was very, like, think old British kind of architecture.
Like London circa the plague?
Yes, exactly. It was like, release the hounds kind of stuff. Like, they had huntsmasters and but they were all humans, right?
Okay.
In Gilneas.
Okay.
Well, a curse befell their lands, and a bunch of, I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. Werewolves.
It's the werewolf
Yes,
ones!
they are werewolves. So this curse kind of befell their lands, and a bunch of people started getting turned into Worgen. They were mindless hunting machines, out like hell-bent on killing anything that they saw, until eventually they figured out how to kind of give the Worgen back their reasoning capabilities. And there was a cure that was made for them. And so now they have rejoined the Alliance.
Okay.
And they are kind of on the fighting force of...
Yeah, because I actually think I made a Worgen, right?
You did.
I didn't even remember that I made a Worgen.
You made a Worgen rogue.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
But they can change forms.
Yes, they
right?
can. Yep, you can change their forms. They have an ability called Dark Flight, which gives them extra movement speed for a short duration.
So basically, were they like feral before?
Yes.
Interesting.
They were mindless killing machines, and then a cure was given to them, and they were essentially... that now they have their thoughts back. But it was actually a really messed up bit for them, because imagine, like, you go wolf mode, you kill however many people, and then all of a sudden you come back and you remember
you just wake
everything,
up knowing.
and you're like, oh my gosh, I killed my sister, like, or something like that. Like, there's a lot of terrible things that these Worgen did before they were captured and cured. So it's really rough to think about the stuff that they probably did while they were under those effects.
Right.
I don't know if we ever find out who did it. Like, somebody had to have cursed them and come up with this, like, plague, essentially. But I don't know if we know exactly who did it. But yeah, like, there's actually the the previous king of Stormwind, Valerian. His like closest advisor was a guy called Geen Greymane, and he was the leader of the Worgen, and he was a big white wolf. It's really cool.
Ooh,
really cool. I liked him. I like Geen. He's a little bit more murder happy than I would like, but he's fun. He's a really cool guy.
Murder happy is fun happy though.
He is. So that's the Worgen.
Okay, so for our first character, we have a Worgen shaman who is an alchemist. An alchemist.
That seems so appropriate.
Yeah, that does.
That's like so good. As far as like the only thing that I would think of that might be even better would be like a Tauren or a Night Elf. just because like shaman closer to nature plus the alchemy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have all kinds of beneficial abilities. They can skin stuff faster than normal races can, which is really
Okay.
cool. It's like natural instincts or something. So again, I give you classes, races, or proficiency.
Let's do races. And I say races because it's really interesting because obviously for human people, um the science behind why there's different races is that people evolved in different areas depending on the climate, the weather, like
All that fun stuff.
they evolved in just different ways. So it's really interesting with this because it's fantasy. So it is like, oh, they legitimately got cursed by a dude,
Exactly. Yeah, like
and then
those
they
guys
get a
were
cure.
human, and then okay, cool. So we have humans, we have dwarves, we have night elves, we have gnomes, we have Draenei. You already did the Worgen. We have Pandarians. Then we have orcs, undead, Tauren, trolls, blood elves, and goblins.
Tell me about them trolls.
Okay, trolls are really fun. They're actually my best friend. That's his favorite thing to play.
Dungle the troll.
They are very heavily influenced by Jamaican
Interesting.
kind of stuff. But here's the funny thing. So like all the trolls, they talk like this, man. Like that's exactly how they talk. And there's even a joke that you can do if you do /silly with the trolls. It's like, what you mean? What kind of accent is these? These are troll accents. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's so on the nose. It's so funny.
That's hilarious.
But they pull very close from voodoo.
Oh, interesting.
So head shrinking kind of stuff, like
that's fun.
they worship spirits as well, but the spirits that they worship are called the Loa.
Okay.
And the Loa are like their gods, and there's a lot of them.
Right.
So whereas like paladins and stuff worship the light, they worship the Loa. Which are like
interesting.
The spirits, kind of like spirits of nature, but more of like spirits of ancestry. So like you can have the Loa of blood, or like sacrifice, or like some of them are really dark and awful, or you can have like the Loa of good harvest, and like there's a lot, anything you can think of, there's a Loa for it. And there is actually a physical spirit that manifests in the world that is the embodiment of that person they worship. And the more that they are worshipped, the bigger and the stronger that Loa is.
So can trolls be Horde and Alliance?
No.
Or just Horde?
Just Horde. Yeah, you'll find that a lot of Horde characters are more tribalistic than you will like
and Alliance is more like religious
and like how do I put it, like civilized.
Modern civilization as opposed to like
exactly, like the Horde aren't bad guys in general, they're just different.
I feel like it wouldn't be racist if you just let any of them play as either Alliance or Horde.
So here's the problem. I guess I should get into this now because a lot of people are probably going to bring this up and talk about this. The Horde are considered the bad guys, and the Alliance are considered the good guys. Now, hear me out. That's not true. But it also kind of is.
Wait, what does that mean?
So, the Horde kind of started out as the main bad guys.
Oh, interesting.
So, like, the Horde in the original Warcraft, which is not World of Warcraft, it's Warcraft, there were 3 games, Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. They were army building games, where they decided to add more and more stuff kind of as you went along. They had 2 opposing forces. It was humans versus orcs.
Interesting.
Alliance versus Horde.
Okay.
Right? So, the Horde are the bad guys, you play as the Alliance, they are the protagonist, Horde are the antagonists. Horde are trying to kind of take over the world, this new world, and they kind of just came to it through a portal. And the Alliance are protecting their lands.
Okay.
So the Alliance were here first.
Yeah.
The Horde showed up.
Yeah, because that's how it was in the Warcraft movie.
And they're like, get the fuck out. And the Alliance are like, actually eat my nuts. Like, not happening.
No
so
thanks.
it starts out, the Horde are 100% unequivocally the bad guys.
Yeah.
There is no arguing this. Like, coming and taking somebody fully out of that, like, place that they've already settled, they've already made theirs, I think we can all agree is not okay.
Yeah, Christopher Columbus.
So like, the main problem there is, like, you start out with a faction that is unequivocally evil. It doesn't matter why they're doing it. It matters that they're coming to this place and they're fully disrupting and taking these people's stuff and killing them.
Yeah.
And so doing this all by force. It's not like trade, it's not negotiation, it's not like, hey, this is really bad for us, we need a place to stay, can you help us? It's like, no, cool home you got there, bro.
Right.
Mine now. So that was kind of the main problem for why this has been so difficult, is a lot of people are like, the Horde aren't bad guys, and it's like, their descendants aren't bad. The people who kind of started this, yeah.
The originals of the Horde are a little bad.
Nah, great.
But that's what I mean by it, where it's like, I feel like it wouldn't be a lot racist if they just let them play either Horde or Alliance. But it's the fact that it's like, because it's also like the Jamaican accent can only be Horde, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, if they didn't take as many, like, if they weren't as stickler about it, you know?
Right, so all of them have their initial, like, wants and desires, and obviously culture that they pull from. And the trolls pull from that, like, voodoo-esque kind of...
Which, I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love that sort of, like, trope and culture, you know?
Yeah. Originally, remember how I told you they worship the Loa?
Uh-huh.
And then whichever they worship is, like, the biggest and the strongest Loa?
Yeah.
There was kind of one that was all about blood sacrifices. And that was one of their biggest ones.
Uh-huh. Because I was gonna say, when you said, like, good harvest, I'm like, oh, that's awesome, because that's kind of, like, true to, like, voodoo in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of, like, it's not as stark and scary as people make it out to be, but it is very tropey to put, like, yes, and then we're gonna cut off the head of a serpent and bathe in its blood.
Yeah, and that's really bad. So
it's not great.
It gets really creepy and kind of not great when you have the trolls that are like, we're actively going and raiding people, we're capturing them, we're taking them back to our sacrificial altar, and we're sacrificing them. So they also have a lot of that Aztec stuff built into them, which is like, ooh, which is like Aztec people, not bad guys. Ancient Aztec people, kind of rough. Like, you know,
if you do human sacrifices,
kind of bad. Like, you know, not good. So that's kind of, I think, where we run into the problem of saying that the Horde and the Alliance are good and bad. Yes and no, because there's good and there's bad in both of them, just like any organization where it's like, a lot of the Horde joined up and kind of became the Horde because they were being actively mistreated.
But they're being mistreated because some dude a long time ago said, this is my land!
Blood Elves were initially with the Alliance.
Oh, okay.
And then they broke from the Alliance and joined the Horde because they were actively being thrown in the front lines of a war with no regard to the fact that they were getting slaughtered.
Oh, they were just like the fodder?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, the Alliance was all like, Blood Elves, deal with their problems for us.
Like, there was human generals that had a lot of prejudice, and they were just like, I'm not going to have my men be thrown into the meat grinder. Hey, pretty little elves over there, why don't you get your asses in the front lines?
It sounds like there's a lot of kind of racism in
it,
but not just like creators of the game putting racist tropes in it, but also just like a lot of like interrace, like, like in the actual game itself.
Exactly. Well, yeah, because if you think about it, like, if you have a whole race of people that invaded your homeland, you're gonna be upset at them. There's gonna be a lot of generational, like, trauma there. So almost all of the humans, especially the old ones, hate orcs. Because they're like, these guys came and they killed my son, or they killed my dad, or they did all this stuff. They did a lot of terrible, terrible things, right? And then you have orcs that are kind of the same mindset, But it's like, I don't know if that's really the right way to think about it. Orcs who came to a place that wasn't yours and tried to take it by brute force.
It's one thing if they came over and they like, look, our world is not doing
Exactly.
good. Will you take some refugees? But to come and just be like, okay, we're gonna murder you, so what yours is mine, and what's mine is now mine. You know, that's a little different.
Yeah, so there's a lot of racial prejudice that kind of takes place in World of Warcraft that makes it really hard, even for the generations afterwards, to kind of be like, hey, maybe we don't have to kill each other. And then, like, even King Varian, who was one of the best rulers that the Alliance ever had, was extremely prejudiced because his father fought in, like, the original war with that going on. And so he was steeped in the idea of, like, okay, here's how you kill orcs. And he killed them by the dozens. So it's like,
it makes a lot of sense because this was made in the 90s.
Mhm.
That's not an excuse, but like it was
No.
made in the 90s.
No, there is a really cool moment, I think, that is awesome, that has King Varian on a ship on his way to essentially fight the Burning Legion, which is like, hell has come for Azeroth.
Fuck.
And the Alliance and the Horde need to team up, or else we're boned.
Everybody's boned.
Everybody's
We're all
boned.
dying.
So they're all gonna basically go fight this together. He's on an airship, the Royal Airship, on their way to make headway into demon territory.
Love it.
And he's writing his son Anduin a letter.
Okay.
And it's basically like, hey, I love you, I care about you. You are, when I die, you will take over my space as king, just like I did that for my father. But the thing is, I am not the ruler that is going to be needed after this is done. Because all I know is war. And I'm good at it. And I'm a great fighter. But that's all I've ever known. And so it's basically the old adage of, if the only tool you have is a hammer, all problems start to look like nails. It's like, I'm just gonna just whack this out real quick. So he basically says, he's like, I hope that I have raised you without those prejudices, and you have always had the ability to see the good in people and not just what they are.
And he's writing to his son, who's really war heavy, or
no,
is he
his
the one
son
who is
a cleric or a priest, which he, like, Varian himself is a fighter. His son Anduin is a priest who has been vying for peace between the Horde and the Alliance since like 4 expansions ago. At this point.
Shit! He's like, oh, you're writing this to me now, Dad. Yeah. Basically.
So, because that's the thing, he's always been trying to get the Horde and the Alliance to kind of work together. It's like, we can work out our differences. We don't have to be this way, etc., etc. We'll go into how the Horde kind of messed that up real hard.
It's always the Horde's fault.
There's gonna be that. But that was basically, he went to a place called Pandaria, kind of on a mission to
peace.
It was a peace mission. Like, he was trying to get the Horde and the Alliance to stop fighting, and he ends up getting kicked off of the equivalent of the Great Wall of China by the Horde leader at the time, Garrosh, who was like puny little leader, and he like kicks him off, breaking every bone in Anduin's body at this point. He spends quite a while in recovery, and Varian is like, the fuck you do to my son? So this just like increases hostilities, makes it really rough. The writers really need to stop making the Horde the bad guy, because we've had an option to just be chill with each other for a while, and it's just not the way it is anymore.
But babe, then it wouldn't be World of Warcraft. It would just be World.
So like, I hate that they have done that for so long. Like, there's been so many other clear enemies that we could be focusing on, and not the Horde versus the Alliance. And it just is awful a lot of the times.
I get it, because it's called World of Warcraft, and there has to be war. But hear me out. why not just make a third person? Or have the Alliance be the bad guys sometimes?
So that's the shitty thing. They do. The Burning Legion is a literal legion of hell come to Azeroth to enslave and kill everyone there. There is a very clear antagonist. Like, very clear. It's so clear it's painful. Or if you don't like that, there's the old gods, who are still wreaking havoc and fucking around Azeroth just for fun. Just for fun at this point. They have old temples and monuments have been built up. Maybe we go take care of those before we start another war over
and
random
they have
resources.
armies, and that's
Yeah, whole armies. Like, these are big bad places that are constantly, like, under struggle. But instead of focusing on that, there's a lot of times when the Horde and the Alliance just, like, too busy infighting to deal with problems.
but we could fight each other.
Exactly. So, and that the problem is that conflict is the main story for the most part. So there's like the second expansion, which is Wrath of the Lich King, and that's focused on the fact that these people are going to fight the new antagonist, right? Like, so the Horde and the Alliance got to go fight this guy. And the Lich King is raising up undead, and his whole goal is to basically cover the world in undeath, because he knows that the Burning Legion is coming. And he is like, oh, the Horde and the Alliance are never going to be able to fight this guy because they're not unified. Like, they won't be able to put up enough resilience. But if I kill everyone and then I raise them all up as undead, I will have a universal fighting force that will do whatever I say whenever I say it, and we can fight these guys off. So it's so funny to see, like, the twisted logic in Arthas's brain sometimes of just like, okay, I see where you're going, but you killed everyone! Like, that doesn't solve the problem, Arthas!
Hold on.
He's like, but the planet's still there. Like, we still have a place. And I'm like, but you have a place. Everybody else is mindless undead.
So I'm guessing that's how undead work. Because that was one of the races.
No.
Well, then never mind. We've learned nothing, people. We've learned nothing.
Yes. So that's kind of a little bit of history. That's why the Horde and the Alliance fight. That's kind of what's going on. Objectively, you could say that the Horde are started out as the bad guys because they did. That's not really a question. But the thing that's kind of constantly brought up is like, oh, they're like primitive savages that are just assholes. Like, no, they have rich tribalistic culture, and a lot of them looked like the trolls separated. There's two different groups now. They were just like, oh, these guys are fucking nuts. Like, we're not gonna worship this god. Like,
they're the guys who are like, we still have rituals, but we're doing it to like have good harvests.
Yeah, the Darkspear trolls are chill as shit, and they just want to smoke joints and have fun.
Oh my god,
like,
I want to join them.
They're awesome, and they're other ones over here, we don't talk about those. The Zandalari, we don't talk about the Zandalari trolls.
We don't talk about, but no, that's as much as I can say.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But like, so they've made steps to progress. They aren't what they originally were. If they were still the warmongering race that was all about, taking over and pillaging and killing everything in sight, yeah, that's bad. And that should be portrayed as the bad guy because that's not productive.
Yeah, but that's not what's going on realistically. It's like
not. Just
as much as the Alliance has civilization, so does the Horde.
So that was a bit of a tangent, but something that kind of had to, I think, be said.
Yes.
Because I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to ask that question. And there's Horde and there's Alliance. And I'm an Alliance player. Because when I first started playing, that was what, everybody else was playing around me. And so I enjoyed that. I don't think the Horde are evil. I don't think they're bad guys. I think that it's fair to have some like friendly competition here and there, but I honestly do not believe that the Horde are bad. I think that they exist and they're a different faction than the Alliance, and the things that they do are different, but that doesn't make them bad inherently. But yes, so let's go back, and I'm gonna give you classes, races, and proficiency.
Okay, we just did prolols. So let's do class. We're gonna go backwards this time.
Classes. We got a mage.
Okay.
Priest.
Okay.
Warlock.
Okay.
Warrior.
Okay.
Hunter. Rogue. Paladin. Druid. I'm gonna skip Shaman because I already did that. Monk. Demon Hunter. Evoker. And a Death Knight.
Ooh, there's a few in there that I am very interested in. But I'm gonna say this one because I know it's your favorite. Tell me about the hunter.
Hunter was the first class I ever played. I played a Night Elf Hunter because I said I was Alliance and they didn't have as many racial choices back then. Um, they get the added effect of having a pet. Blizzard has been on and off again about if hunters should be allowed to have melee weapons as well as ranged weapons. And that has changed a lot through the different kind of like expansions and stuff. Mostly now they have one ranged weapon that they can use even at close range, but your goal is to generally be a long range DPS.
Okay.
Hunters specialize in traps and different forms of arcane weaponry kind of stuff. So you can do like arcane shot, you can do cobra shot, you got kill command, you got your beast with you.
Could you explain DPS to the people who don't understand what that means?
Yes, DPS is damage per second, which generally translates to a damage dealing class. Damage per second is a calculation that determines how much damage you're doing per second in the game. You generally want your DPS to be as high as possible because the higher your DPS, the more damage you're just putting out in general. So that is just considered to be like the damage dealing role that you will see in World of Warcraft. There's healers, there's tanks, and then there's DPS. Healer's pretty
tank,
obvious,
yeah.
and tank is pretty obvious. You are the guy who stands between the bad guys and your buddies. If you die, everybody gets fucked over, so, don't...
The guy who takes hits, the guy who heals you when you get hit, and then the person who's actually dealing damage.
Exactly. So yes, they are not versatile. They can only do damage. That's all they do. I see that. That's a lot. You want to throw that away?
It's pretty. I want to hang it on our wall.
No.
Anyway, sorry.
So they can only do damage. There are 3 different specializations for Hunter: Survivalist, Beastmaster, and Marksman. Marksman focus on just doing a bunch of shots and doing a bunch of damage. Beast Mastery focuses on your pet and taming exotic pets and having more than one pet out at once. And Survival focus more on the melee aspect of being a hunter and also traps.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a hunter. They are.
What type of hunter would you play?
I play Beastmaster Hunter.
A beast, yeah, that makes sense.
I love exotic pets.
I was gonna say you were gonna be whatever the cheesiest build is.
No, actually.
Really?
Beastmaster Hunters were, and I think still are. There was a time they got a bit of a buff, but they are generally considered the worst spec to be as a hunter.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean that. I meant more of you typically play builds, which I have taken on this trait from you, where it's I'm gonna stand in the back of the room and I'm gonna kill you from really far away, and you're not gonna be able to do anything about it because you can't reach me.
Oh, you're talking solo play. Yes.
Either whether that's summons, whether that's the most ranged of range, and it's I'm going to find a perch in which I can snipe you over and over again, and you can't touch me. That sort of build.
Pretty close, yeah. Pretty close. So that's Hunter. I love Hunters. They are extremely fun. You can give your pets fun names. You can tame a bunch more than you used to be able to now. I think the exotic pet taming is one of my favorite features as a hunter because it allows you to find almost any kind of beasts out there and tame them. They also allow you to tame mechanical pets now, which is really fun. So you can have like a mechanical dog and stuff. It's really
interesting.
But yeah, so that's a hunter. So
okay.
Class, race, profession.
You know what I'm going for, baby.
Profession.
Give me race. No. Profession.
So we talked about alchemy. There is blacksmithing, enchanting, tailoring, engineering, jewel crafting, leatherworking, inscriptions. Those are most of the main ones, as well as mining and herbalism. And then there's cooking and fishing as secondaries.
Cooking? Tell me about cooking and fishing, because those are secondary ones.
Fair. Cooking is pretty straightforward. So you're going to cook different stat-based food for World of Warcraft. You start out being able to cook very basic meals that don't really give anything, and then eventually you can cook specialized meals that increase players' stats and give them a buff called Well-Fed, which stacks with potions and other stuff. So being a cook is actually very important in World of Warcraft because having that well-fed buff can be extraordinarily handy. You can also put down feasts for players, which is a whole like table with a feast
Ooh.
associated to it, and you could feed an entire raid that way and
Ooh.
give them all a buff, which is really awesome, super fun. Cooking uses all kinds of different ingredients, from being able to make things like bread and like pastries to steak and also seafood dishes. You also have like they incorporate different cooking styles from a lot of what we consider normal life to be. So there's Asian infusion kind of styled. There's Nordic kind of meals and dishes.
Was
Um,
was there ever a dish in World of Warcraft that you saw it and you're like, damn, that looks tasty?
Oh, I remember there was one that I was like, what would this be?
Uh-huh.
And it was called the Dusty Spider Kebabs.
I hate that.
But it was you had to go through a quest in Duskwood.
Uh-huh.
So Dusty,
That makes sense.
Dusty. And spiders were very prevalent there. And so I would imagine it's kind of like the leg is used as the kebab, and then it's like a ball of spider meat that you deep fry, and then, like huck, like an ice cream cone.
No, thank you. I'm
It's
good. I'll
kebab.
pass. Thank you. Try
Big
everything once.
big bear ribs looked delicious.
Ooh.
I really enjoyed, like, a lot of them are just like, oh, it's gotta be, or sorry, Caldore spider kebabs. That's what those dusty crab cakes is the other one that you got.
Crab cake. I've been dreaming of those crab cakes we had the other day.
I really wanted to know what savory deviate delight was, there's a fish that you could catch called, I want to say was it deviate delight, something like that. But it was just a fish, and you could cook it up and make savory deviate delight with it. Maybe it was just deviate fish. And it would give you a random effect. It could like turn you into a pirate, like was one of the things. It could make you invisible. It could teleport you. Like there was a lot of stuff that the savory deviate delight could do.
Okay, what turn you into a pirate? Is that just an aesthetic thing?
Yep, it was a costume for like an hour.
Oh, that's incredible. I want a food to exist that can just turn you into a
And I was like,
pirate.
what would it taste like? Like there was
Right,
definitely
like-
a fun thought. But they can use, like I said, all kinds of ingredients. So like you'll have to farm to get some of them. You'll have to fish to get some of them. Some of the ingredients drop off just killing random beasts that you can find throughout the game. I really, really liked cooking. It was one of my favorite things to do, and I maxed out cooking.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. Like super, super cool. And fishing is pretty obvious, right? Like you can just anywhere there's a body of water, you can fish.
Yeah.
And every time you fish, you'll get something random. Now there are some cool stuff, like you can find floating debris, and there's stuff called fishing schools,
Okay.
and it's just a like swirly school, and it might be like a blackmouth school.
Okay.
Or it might be floating debris. Or it might whatever. If it's floating debris, you have a chance of getting lock boxes out of it, which you can have a rogue pick the lock to the lock box, and then you open up and there's random loot and treasure inside.
Okay.
Which is really cool. But it's the best way to get fish for a lot of, like, there's cooking. Some fish is actually used in alchemy for the fish oils and stuff that it can produce. And you have to get like different fishing poles help you with different stuff. You can even fish in acid pools and stuff. There's a lot you can do in World of Warcraft for fishing.
Fun. That honestly sounds a lot like Core Keeper.
It is. It's a lot like Core Keeper actually. And every time they come out with a new expansion, you're gonna go fishing because there's gonna be new stuff in the water for you to catch, and who knows.
Did you ever max out all of the recipes?
I did not. And there is to this day a mount that I'm sad I never got from fishing, because it has a very slim chance of being fishable. I want to say in Northrend fishing schools.
Okay.
It's got like a 0.0001% chance of dropping.
Oh shit.
And it is a turtle mount.
Turtle?
That increases your swim speed by like 50%.
It's a turtle?
Yeah, I never got it. I tried for years to get that mount, never got it.
Oh my gosh.
My uncle actually got it.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Your uncle
jealous.
does nothing but play World of Warcraft every day.
I was so jealous. But yes, so that is.
I guess I do have a one question, if you don't mind, from that. How many expansions are there? Sorry, I fully forgot my question.
Oh, that's let me think. I think I want it like right off the top of my head. I'm like, there's like at least 7 or 8, maybe more.
See, that's not as much as I was thinking, because you said that this has been a game since the 90s, and so I
Yeah.
was like, there's got to be like 17 or 18 expansions.
So so they don't come out with expansions as quickly, and the base vanilla version of the game actually doesn't take place because Warcraft 3 is Wrath of the Lich King.
Okay.
World of Warcraft came out, right? And they had like the World of Azeroth.
Yeah.
Then we got to go through the Burning Crusade, which was the first expansion. Then we did Wrath of the Lich King,
Okay.
which was the second expansion. And at that point, they already knew what the story was going to be. You know, like if you'd played Warcraft 3, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you knew kind of what was going on, where it was going to end, etc., etc. Variations therein, but still pretty close. After that, everybody was like, what are they gonna do next? So it went Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King. A part of me wants to say Pandaria, but I know I'm gonna be wrong if I say Pandaria. But it might have been Pandaria. Or was it Cataclysm? Anyway, Cataclysm, Pandaria.
Somebody rake him across the coals and no.
Something along those lines, because I remember there was a point in that we went to, I want to say Pandaria came first and then Cataclysm came after that, because everybody's like, wait. It might have been Cataclysm then Pandaria first, because I think Deathwing came out, Cataclysm, everything got fucked up, and then there's this giant like turtle over here, and the mists that were surrounding Pandaria get messed up because of the Cataclysm. Then we can go to Pandaria. So that's what I think happened. Is Cataclysm, then Pandaria. Then after Pandaria, we had Draenor. Okay. I want to say Draenor was after Pandaria. And then after Draenor, we had Legion, which was kind of focused more on like us taking the fight to the Legion.
Yeah.
And that was where Varian dies. Spoiler.
Spoiler if you ever want to play the 9 expansions of World of Warcraft.
Then I want to say it was Shadowlands after that.
Okay.
Then Dragonflight after that.
And these are all just new areas of the world.
Full new continents sometimes, yeah. Like, it's a world, and sometimes you'll go to, like, a different plane of existence. So it'll be like, Pandaria was a new continent that kind of just appeared on the map, and everybody was like, what the fuck? Like, what's this random landmass that's not supposed to be here? And then it was like, whoa! And other times it'll be like, oh, we're gonna go, like, explore the astral plane, essentially. And it's a whole area just out in the middle of plumfuck nowhere.
This is an entire world. I thought of the night, what if your World of Warcraft character actually existed when you were playing the game and they thought that they were really doing those things?
I mean, my guy is going to have some stories.
Like?
Because I played from vanilla with that character, so he's seen it all.
Okay, I guess since we are starting to get towards the end of the episode, I know we have the list, but one thing you've told me before are some incredibly amazing stories of you guys playing World of Warcraft as a family, and I would feel remiss if we did a World of Warcraft episode and you didn't tell at least some of the stories. Like, so like some of the t-shirt designs that you want? What do you think? What do you think?
T-shirt designs, I like that. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about just some of the random things that I did in World of Warcraft. So one of the things that I really enjoy that World of Warcraft does is they have seasonal events. So there's Christmas, there's, Halloween, Love is in the Air, which is the Valentine's Day event, and there's seasonal bosses, which is super fun. Blizzard is not well known for balancing their stuff really well, or they'll make something forget it exists and then it breaks the game, kind of.
Oh, so later on they're not accounting for this boss from like 3 expansions ago?
So they also do this thing called a number crunch every once in a while, where your character might have like, I'm just throwing this out, like 2 million hit points. And
Woohoo!
they're like, okay, millions are starting to get kind of crazy. So they'll do a number crunch where now your character only has like 100,000 hit points.
Uh-huh.
But everything else from the previous expansions and the new stuff in the new expansion have hit points accordingly. But they don't do it well.
It's a half-ass version of it.
So, like, you'll go in and your character who has the 100,000 hit points now, everything works fine. The things in the new area are hitting you, for a decent amount of numbers. But if you go back into old dungeons and raids and stuff, they'll still have like 4 million hit points or something. And you're in there just like, you shoot it and it does like 25,000 damage or, 20 or not 250,000 damage in a single shot. Or you'll just do like 5 billion damage in a shot, depending on how it goes, because it's a lower level dungeon. It's something from the past. You can solo it now. You can just do it yourself. So it's really funny to see when that happens, and not often do you get to see it firsthand. One of these times, there was a very old quest, and remember I told you my first character was a hunter.
Yes.
And he was a night elf. He started out in a place called Teldrassil, which is the world tree for people who don't, really get to see a lot of this, or you haven't played Alliance. It's a big tree, big stump.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of crazy stuff there. Well, some of the things are called like shambling mounds.
Okay.
Or moss horrors, stuff like that, which is just a giant clump of like vines and stuff that has become animate and is just like running around killing people.
Okay. Love it.
So as night elves, that's one of the things you have to do is you got to kill them. There's a quest you can do by killing a rare spawn that is kind of out in the middle of plumfuck nowhere in the starting area.
Okay.
And so if you manage to find him and you manage to kill him, remember I've told you what a rare spawn is. A rare spawn is, for people who don't know, is a creature that you can run across in World of Warcraft, a mob creature, that is generally like, maybe it's a different color. Or maybe it's wearing snazzier clothes or whatever. And if you click it, it might have a name. Instead of just saying like Shambling Mound, it'll be like Olamog the Earthcrawler or something like that, So if you kill him, you get special loot. In this case, it was a quest item that dropped off of him, which I was like, what? And it was the Mossy Heart. Which I was like, okay. So it unlocked a quest that you can do in the Night Elf starting area, which was one of the hardest quests I had ever done.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So what it does is you take it to this herbalist, and he's like, oh man, like, it seems like this heart is kind of corrupted. Like, I'm going to try and cleanse this. He's like, so he plants it in the soil to try and cleanse it because he's got, like, this soil that's been bathed in a loon's light and all this other stuff. And he's like, but it might attract some of the creatures, so you need to protect the heart while it is being cleansed.
Okay.
And you're like, all right. So the second he puts it in there, you just start getting bombarded as all of these like mossy horrors that look just like the one you killed start coming out of the woodwork to attack you.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And you have to fend off wave after wave after wave of these guys. And if they get to the heart, it's bad.
Bad news bears.
So they'll go after you most of the time, but you got to get their attention. You got to track them down. So I finally managed to complete the quest, and you get an item, which is a one-time use item. And it is the cleansed heart of so-and-so, the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so it went in my bags, and I forgot about it. For years.
You're like, I did the thing.
Exactly. And
not even thinking once to yourself, this was really hard. Maybe that was a good item.
And, well, but I only had one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about gamers. If you give us a limited resource,
you're not gonna
we're probably never gonna use it. Or if we do, it's gonna be so sparingly that it's almost not useful anymore.
That makes so much sense.
So I had it, and I had it in my bag, and I knew I could use it, and there's no limit. You can use this any point in time. So just when you're fighting, and what it was supposed to do was it was supposed to summon a shambling mound to help you in combat for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Helpful, but not crazy.
Skip forward like 2-3 years. I'm fighting a Hoon, the Frost Lord.
Okay.
It is I want to say, Fire Festival raid boss. Maybe not raid boss, but seasonal boss. And you can get a bunch of really cool stuff from Frost Lord Hoon. You can get his scythe, which gives you a really cool like frost aura just while you have it on you. Super fun. You can get a couple of good cosmetics. I think there was a pet, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like an animated snowball. Fun stuff, fun stuff. But Frostlord of Hoon doesn't like the Fire Festival because he's like, oh, it's too warm. I'm going to chill everything, blah, 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 blah. So we're there, and my family at the time was all playing, and so we had 4 people. You need 5 to do a dungeon. We were good enough that we could generally do it with what we had. So at the time, my stepfather was our tank. My mom was our healer, and me and my uncle were the damage dealers.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Sometimes we could back up tank if we needed to, etc., etc. Well, I had decided to go myself, and I had just kind of gotten a group with some other people.
Yeah.
They were not good.
Yeah.
They were not good. So the tank died.
Oh, great. Love it.
The boss was at about 3/4 of its normal health. You could battle res, but things were looking kind of crazy. The whole group was kind of falling apart, and I'm like, okay, I need to buy us some time. So I remembered I had that in my bags, and I'm like, maybe it'll stall him for a second. Like, maybe it'll pull the aggro, he'll jump on the tree thing, it'll live for one whack, we're good. Well, it summoned one of those things that was as big as the raid boss, and I proceeded to watch a kaiju fight. As this thing single-handedly took on Frostlord of Hoon, we started helping out. It fully tanked the entire fight. That thing became the new tank, and it only got to about only about a fifth of its life was actually taken by the time we were done killing Frostlord of Hoon.
And that's because you waited. This really goes to show you, if you just hold on to something for years, it's going to become more valuable than it was.
And everybody was like, what the
was it supposed to be that big?
No, it wasn't. But remember how I said they forget to, to balance things? And so they hadn't accounted for that one random item, the mob that it summoned being that thing, and it just happened to be a good glitch on my part where it worked really well.
And everybody in the party with you is like, we're gonna fight with you always.
Yeah, like, where is this? Where did you get this? This is nuts! Like, this is insane!
Like 5
and I was
years
like,
ago.
I hope you're happy, because this is the only one. There are no more.
The only one that ever existed.
And so it's kind of a cool story that I get to tell because it was a random bug glitch in the game, and I have never seen anyone do it since, but it was so effective that one time, and I'm sure there's a lot of D&D, or not D&D, World of Warcraft players with stories that are kind of similar, where it's like, oh yeah, like I had this healing potion. But I really like that story because it was so unique, and it was a one-time use item, and it actually worked. It actually did something really cool, and it was really fun for me. I have lots of random dungeon stories, which I really...
There was a stiletto one, and I also remember when your uncle fell asleep at the keyboard.
Yeah.
Shitty little giggle.
Yeah. So my uncle started tanking for us for a little bit, because at that point my stepdad wasn't in the picture anymore, etc., etc. But we had my little brother. And I don't know if he was playing or if my stepdad had just taken some time to do something else and he was still in the party, but whatever.
Yeah.
He wasn't the tank. That's the main point of this. And we're in a dungeon. Now, when you're in a dungeon, things don't work as they do normally in World of Warcraft. Because mobs have something called an aggro range. So enemies have an aggro range.
Yeah.
And they will aggro or aggress onto you at different,
depending
stages.
on how close you get to them.
Exactly.
More aggressive ones will be farther away. Less aggressive ones, you have to get real close.
And if you're higher level than these creatures, some of them won't even attack you unless you're standing right on top of them. But in a dungeon or an instance, there is no limit to how far a monster will chase you. So you can go from the very beginning of the instance or dungeon all the way to the end, pulling every single monster in there and just kill them if you have the ability to do so.
Yeah, you can just run them into a trap where your mage is going to cast Fireball 5,000 times.
And generally you can't do that unless you're a way higher level. So what you'll do is you'll pull mobs, and it's called, group pull, where it's like, okay, there's like 5 guys over there. We're going to pull those guys. We're going to kill them. Then we're going to get to the next group. And then, so on and so forth. And a lot of times there's trash mobs in boss rooms.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure those things are dead before you start the boss fight. Because if you
Uh-huh.
start the boss fight and somebody gets thrown into that group of monsters that was over there,
they're
you're
screwed.
dead.
They're
Your
boned.
whole party's screwed. Like, you're not making it
That's
out.
happened a couple times.
Happened a lot of times to me. Happened a lot of times to me. So my uncle was tanking, and it's his job. It's the tank's job to pull.
Uh-huh.
So you get their aggro, you keep it on you, while all your other guys murder it, and then, somebody heals you and keeps you alive while you're taking the hits.
Attack me, because I have plate.
Exactly. That's exactly how it goes. So he starts running off, and, to pull, like, the next thing. And it was kind of late at night, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, like, he pulled that group, why isn't he coming back?
Mm-hmm.
And he walks into a second group, or runs into a second group, and I'm like, okay, it's a pretty big pull. And then he goes into a third group, and then I just hear, huh? And he had fallen asleep with his fingers on the mouse buttons, which moves your character forward, and then he realized what was going on and went to run back to us so we could save him. He died halfway through, but the thing is, they still keep aggro on the party.
Oh, so the rest
So
of
then
you
they
were
just
like,
proceed to hunt us down and
damn
murder
it.
us. And we were like, what the hell? And he was like, I'm so sorry. I fell asleep with my fingers on the mouse buttons. Like, I just really sleepy right now. It's kind of late. I'm like, okay. So we had a full party wipe.
Noob move,
Noob
Joe.
move.
I mean, Uncle.
Noob move. And from that point onward, we were like, we need to get a t-shirt that just says, I'm sorry, I fell asleep with my fingers on the mouse buttons. And no one would get it.
Nobody
No one
get
would get it but
you
us. And it would be such an inside joke.
We should do that for Christmas.
That would be fun. Get everybody a shirt that says, sorry, I fell asleep with my fingers on the mouse buttons.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I think, so there are just, because we have a little bit of time left, so because I want to do like an hour and 10 minutes.
Perfect. Love it.
So I'm going to talk about a fun character story that is not my story, but a lot of people will know this, and it's Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins!
Leroy Jenkins is famous in the World of Warcraft community to the point that he is hired to go to Blizzard conventions just to be there as a hey meet and greet, sign some autographs kind of guy. He's that famous.
Just to yell out Leroy Jenkins
yeah.
and then run out of the con.
And everybody does it. Like, before you do something stupid in World of Warcraft, you almost always have that one guy's like, Leroy Jenkins! Like, he's got his own emote, he's in Hearthstone, there's a whole thing about Leroy Jenkins. And the idea is, in World of Warcraft, there are instances, i.e. dungeons, that are extremely difficult to do. We call these raids.
Yes.
Now, a raid, generally, instead of taking 5 players, can take anywhere from 10 to 25 players.
It's really nice that it's a community-driven game.
Real-life people, behind a monitor. That's, 10 to 25 of these people that are spending their whole night, or potentially whole day, some people spend weekends, just doing raids.
Okay.
And that is in the hopeful chance that they will get the good gear that drops from that place. Because you are never better geared than if you are raid geared.
Okay.
Raid gear is the best gear in the game.
They really said, we're making you work for this, we're making you socialize for this, and you're a bunch of filthy gamers.
Yeah, and the crappy thing about that is, let's say you're a hunter and you're after a bow that drops off one of the bosses in this raid. If there are any other hunters in that raid, they're all after that bow.
You are boned.
Unless they are lucky enough to have already gotten it and they're only there for like another piece of gear or something.
Yeah.
Not to mention anyone else who uses guns, which is not super big. But anyway, point being, you have to then roll to try to be the guy who gets that item. And it is not easy trying to beat a bunch of other dudes that want that same item. And if it's a mount, everyone wants it. Every single person in that 25-person group wants that, and you're all doing a roll-off for it.
No shit.
Now, initially, what you used to have to do is you have to type in /roll, and then it would roll a D100. Whoever got the highest got the item.
That makes sense. That's fair.
Some people would still steal it anyway. Those are called ninja looters, and we all hate them and shun them as a community. So keep that in mind.
Get out of here, you ninja looters.
Yeah, like, if you want to talk about old school cyberbullying, Those guys got, like, people found their address.
Was that they just, like, cheated it? They just
Yeah.
they were just like,
Because it's kind of a trust system for the most part. Like,
Uh-huh.
but then
Oh, I get it. So it's known that you do r slash, and if you don't, just take it. Fuck you.
yep, exactly.
Okay,
You
I
ninja
get it.
looted that.
I get it.
So then they implemented something where you only have the ability to need or greed something, and it was an actual thing built into the game.
Yeah.
So whenever a loot would pop up, it would have like a need or greed roll on it. You could click a button, and it would automatically roll for you. If you rolled greed, which means you didn't actually need the item, all of those rolls got tallied up, and whoever got the highest won. Unless someone who rolled need was rolling.
Yeah.
Because they actually need it to be better. Like, that's a good piece of gear for them. That's an upgrade, whatever. In which case, need supersedes greed.
Every time?
Every single time. You
But
could get a 1 on
option?
need.
Is it still a choice?
Yes, it's still a choice. So you can still choose to need or greed it.
So if you don't actually need it, you can still need it?
Yep.
Oh,
As long as you can equip it, you can need it.
Bitch.
And once again, Ninja Looter strikes again, because you have those people who are like, I'm going to need it, even though I don't actually need it. And then they would try and sell it back to the player who would have won it. Yeah, because you could trade items still.
Oh my god.
It sucked.
You know that there's some 10-year-old out there who was playing in vanilla before the need or greed system. Was like, oh my god, a cool boo! And his dad was like, no!
Yeah! It's a slow-mo moment of, don't take it, Timmy!
He's like,
don't take it!
Not mad, just disappointed.
Just immediately jumps, like, boots his kid out of the chair and just like, I'm so sorry. He's 10. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Dad.
Who wants it? Who wants it? I'll give it to you.
I promise. I'll help you farm this. I have a high level character. I'll get this for you.
I'll get this to you. Have any gold?
So Leroy Jenkins was part of this raid group. Once again, 25 people spending their entire night doing this. The raid planning is happening. You're having the main raid leader sitting there being like, all right, everybody, these are the attack patterns of the boss. Do not stand behind the boss because the boss will kill you. These are the enemies. These are the ones we have to kill first. Watch out for this kind of... So
all I can think about is Sword Art Online Abridged.
Yeah.
The scene where he's like, all right, kids.
Exactly. Pretty much that. But this is like... It was like an actual job that people did. Was you were the raid leader. So you were just the guy who told everybody what they were doing. And anybody who stepped out of line, everybody got to be like, you dumb bastard. Because of course there's those people who are just like, the healer wasn't healing. It's like, well, stop standing in the area of effect damage that, you know. There's a lot of that going on in the community. But Leroy Jenkins is famous because in the middle of a speech, and I don't think this has officially ever been recorded. You can find recordings, and I think it was a redo of it.
It's like a remake of
like
the situation.
Exactly. But in the middle of a raid speech, there's this raid leader. He's like, all right, everybody, we're going into the Dragon's Nest area. This is right before the actual boss. Anytime you touch one of the eggs, they will break and they will spawn dragonlings. If too many of them spawn, we are toast. We are going to strategically destroy each individual egg, moving on to each egg pile afterwards. Any area of effect damage. I want my mages. I want my, all this stuff. Like, they were going into great detail about exactly how they were going to do it. And it's like, I need my heals, like, spec'd up. This is the guy you're going to be focusing on. In the event that he dies, focus on this person. So on and so forth. You have this fucker that just gets on. He's like, sorry, everybody. I was away from the keyboard. Anyway, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins! And he just runs in to this room full of dragon eggs, hits every freaking egg along the way, spawns in every dragonling that is there. They then proceed to fully wipe the 25-man raid, and all of them have to run, because when you die, your spirit gets released, you go to a graveyard, and you have to run actively. Like, you can't mount up or anything. You have to run all the way from the graveyard back to the instance where you can now respawn, or the raid in that case, where you can now respawn. It took about 30 minutes to make the run. And then you had to start from the start of the instance all the way back to the place that you had been when you died. Because when you respawn in a dungeon or an instance, it is at the entrance, not where you were.
And this wasn't recorded or streamed or anything. People just spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word.
Spread the word while they were playing World of Warcraft of this one dude who did a thing.
Yep. Exactly. It was like, Leroy, you son of a bitch. And then it became so famous that whenever you messed up or whenever you did such a big, like, oh no moment, you would always just scream, Leroy Jenkins!
That's what Uncle should have done.
Like, if he had
After
been
the
falling asleep, yeah, Leroy
just like
Jenkins!
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, yeah. That is the story of Leroy Jenkins, and I love him so much because he's such a complete idiot.
Yeah.
And I think he was actually the backup tank. Like, because you had the tank, then you had the backup tank. And I think, like, imagine the guy being like, and don't forget, like, Leroy's our backup tank. So if I go down, don't forget to heal Leroy. Like, this is the guy you're going to focus on after I die.
And
And then he comes in and just the whole Leroy Jenkins.
Idiot. That's hilarious.
But yes, so that is a little bit of information on the vast world of World of Warcraft. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, please go over and check out our Patreon if you'd like to support us. And more than anything, we're just glad that you're here enjoying these awesome, fun videos that we enjoy talking about with us. Let us know in the comments if there is anything you guys would like to know about. And until then, we will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.